Okay, so a few videos ago, I published a video on the Great Resignation. And that obviously focused more on resignations that are happening in 2021 compared to what I'm going to be sharing with you now, which is another buzz phrase called the turnover tsunami. So we're going to get into turnover, which is obviously not just resignations, but also dismissals, which right now there's so much of that. And I'm also going to share how it's going to affect your business and what you can do to mitigate what's going on with the turnover tsunami. Are you new to my channel? Well, I have a treat for you. Every week, I release new videos for small businesses just like yours on all things human resources, from attraction to retention to offboarding. And if you want to stay informed on all of these components of HR, just hit that subscribe button right below here and hit the little notification bell beside it so that you can be notified of future videos. And I would love it if you could also hit the little like, that thumbs up there that you see, so that I can get more traffic to my videos and keep providing you with valuable content. So as you can see on my channel, I am known as the Wonderful Wizard of HR, but you might not know my name. My name is Teresa, and small businesses come to me when they're feeling confused or lost, uncertain, and they're having a hard time troubleshooting HR. My main focus is to help small business owners and managers with gaining confidence and knowledge in human resources. I don't know if I should be admitting this, but I have spent just about a quarter of a century, I know, it's wild, a quarter of a century in human resources. And the past just about decade, I have been helping small business owners with their human resources needs. All right, let's get into what has attributed to this phenomenon, the turnover tsunami. Kara Dennison writes in a Forbes article that burnout is the main contributing factor to the turnover tsunami. You can see her article in the link in the description below to learn a little bit more about what she has to say around that. But I don't feel like burnout is the only thing that is contributing to this mass of turnover in small businesses. We have the resignation side of it, and that can be caused by burnout or being asked to come back to work. I touched on that in the Great Resignation. You can watch that video, The Great Resignation, by just clicking on the little info button in the top corner of this video. We're also seeing employers dismissing their employees for several reasons. Number one, they're not following mask mandates, or they're not following vaccine mandates, which are happening in different provinces, depending on the rules. I believe that Alberta actually has the strictest rules around vaccine mandates. BC and Ontario have public sector rules. There's a lot of different things that are coming down the pipes, and probably we're going to see a lot more in the future. The federal government is saying that all their employees are going to need vaccine mandates. So the result of that is employees are going to get fired. And that is going to attribute to this massive turnover, probably unprecedented turnover that we've ever seen before. And we have this fear of people who don't want to go back to work because people aren't wearing masks, or because people aren't vaccinated, or just like their safety. They're concerned for their safety. So they're not wanting to go back to work. They are wanting to stay at home. And if their employer can accommodate, they're not sticking around. So you have all of these different types of people leaving the company for different reasons. Let's get into how you can keep your turnover rate low. That's going to be very difficult right now, but you want to keep it low and you want to keep your employees happy. So I'm going to share a few tips on how you can do that. And if you're already starting to see the trends that I've already mentioned in this video in your workplace, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. So as a small business, as you already know, it is way more difficult for you to offer certain perks and certain bonuses that larger organizations offer to their employees to keep them around. So what do you do to keep them motivated and keep them wanting to stick with your company? Just a little disclaimer before we move forward. If there is any kind of government mandate for your business for employees to either wear masks or for them to prove vaccination, you have to do it. That's not a choice, it's the law. When it comes down from the government, it is the law. And you may have different bylaws in different municipalities that you need to follow as well. So make sure you stay on top of what your municipality is doing, what your province is doing, and what the federal government is doing. And it's constantly changing. We all know that it's very fluid. So you want to make sure that whatever you are offering your employees, that it doesn't go against the minimum laws that are being introduced. So from a resignation standpoint, the first thing you need to do, the very first and most important thing you need to do is communicate with your employees, talk to them, find out what's going on with them. I have mentioned this in my other videos, and I will never stop mentioning that communication is the key to having committed, loyal, and motivated employees. So get into their heads. Find out what is going on with them and what would be the reason that they would want to leave the company. You may think that you know what your employees want, but you don't. Sometimes you do, but oftentimes when you get talking to them, you'll be surprised at what they actually are more worried about, or maybe not even worried about. You may just be thinking it up in your head. I have clients who have been so worried and so worked up about having a conversation with their employee, or they are totally convinced that their employee feels this way. And when I tell them, have a talk with them, ask them these questions, they always come back and go, yeah, it's not at all what I thought. That's not what the problem was at all. So make sure that you talk to them. All right, on to the next one. The next thing you want to do is think outside the box. If you stay like this, very rigid, and you just want to stay within your box and not do anything else, you may lose a couple of employees because you're not getting creative. So think outside that box and offer your employees something that will work for the company and that will work for them. For instance, if your company just cannot offer hybrid working or remote working, think of other things that you can do. Okay, so you have to start coming back to the office, or you have always had to come to the office or to the workplace or the work site. Maybe you can do little perks like offering a gas card, a small nominal amount that goes towards their gas, or paying for their bus passes. Some people have even switched to a 4-day work week where they work 4 10-hour days and then they get Friday to Sunday off. That has been very desirable. You still get the same amount of work out of them, right? You still get 40 hours a week, but you've shortened it now. So that's an option you can give as well. I've also seen companies do it where every other Friday you get a half day off and then you work an extra hour during the week. There's all different kinds of things that you can do to be creative on just changing that work setting just a little bit. When it comes to mandates like masks and vaccines, you really want to be careful with what you do with your policy. If it is not government mandated, it's not the law, you could run into problems in the future. Now, if you were to fire your employee, you have every right to fire your employee for whatever reason you want to. The problem is that it may not be a lawful reason that you have fired them. You may think it's for just cause, but you could run into problems in the future. And there are lawyers out there who right now, as we speak, are helping employees who have been wrongfully dismissed because of their human rights and their employment rights. So make sure that you actually have a right to let somebody go before you do. And where can you find this information? Every province and territory has an employment legislation website. They have government websites. There's all kinds of information on the web that you can research to find out if you fall under the law. And if you don't, then you may not, you may have some problems in the future if an employee decides that they're going to come back and sue you for wrongful dismissal. And not only, and they could get up to 24 months in severance pay. So you want to be very, very careful with that. And you also want to check your human rights legislation. Give your Human Rights Commission a call and ask them, if I do this, am I violating any human rights? And they'll let you know. They know. But if you don't do that and you just decide, I'm cutting ties with this individual, and you don't pay them a fair severance for letting them go, literally for no reason, or a reason that you think is just cause but isn't, you could end up with problems in the future. So make sure you have your ducks in a row before you do that. And the last piece of advice that I have for you is to research what other companies are doing. Some great places to look are the 100 top employers of Canada. They will list out what those best employers are doing for their employees, little benefits that they have. So if you're wanting to, you know, not reinvent the wheel and look and see what other people are doing, you can go there. Great places to work. I think that they have a little hub or something that you can be a part of. But yeah, just look on the World Wide Web and you should be able to find something there. If you are an owner or a manager of a small business and you feel like you could use a little bit more help, maybe you feel uncertain or lost, or you don't really have the confidence when it comes to human resources, I have a program called the Complete HR Blueprint that helps employers go from feeling uncertain, insecure, and vulnerable to feeling confident and knowledge in human resources. If you're interested in a program like that, just click on the link below, book a call with me, and we'll have a discovery call to see if you're fit for the program and if I can help you with moving forward with your human resources. You can also opt into being a part of my inner circle, where you receive special events news, discounts, any videos that I have coming up, any information that will just be provided to my inner circle. You can opt in by clicking on the link in the description. Please hit that like button if you liked my video, and leave me a comment letting me know how you liked the video. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell right beside it to receive future notifications of videos that I will be releasing. And don't forget to watch the Great Resignation that I talked about earlier. And you can also watch a video on hybrid working if you want to learn a little bit more about that. Enjoy the rest of your day.